This review has been approved by Lord Carnage.
Banished from Earth Classic Game Room broadcasts from the Intergalactic Space Arcade on its never-ending mission to review everything. Welcome to Classic Game Room, which doesn't use Mode 7, but this game does because it's F-Zero on the Super Nintendo. The game may be called F-Zero, but you know it's number one when it comes to 1991 futuristic racing games on your Super Nintendo. It's time to put down that blast processing for a moment and get with the Mode 7. And then pick up blast processing later, because I'm still a Sega fanboy at heart, but I really admire F-Zero, and it's a great game. This is the first of many F-Zero racing games, but I think fans of this series will agree that it's still not enough. F-Zero should be a household name by now. And while it's popular, it's maybe not as popular as a game like Mario Kart, probably because it's not nearly as approachable as Mario Kart. F-Zero is brutal. The game is frequently cruel. You don't get a trophy for just turning it on. It's fast, pretty much everything will kill you, and the enemy drivers are complete douchebags. Try to get in first and stay there, otherwise your race is gonna be tough. All it takes is one little mistake and your championship is over. Few games are as dependent on track memorization as F-Zero. You must know every turn well before you approach it. And even then the odds are stacked against you. There's 4 vehicles, 3 championships, and 3 difficulties. The game is hard on beginner. And it only gets insane from there, but this comes on the heels of the 80s arcade era, when games were hard. Games were meant to take your quarters, and this feels like an 80s arcade game. But it looks like the future, making brilliant use of Nintendo's Mode 7, which does something with the spinning in the backgrounds, making it, giving it that F-Zero look. And then there's the music, which is great, and I think what's most impressive is that for a 1990-1991 release, it still plays really well today. I particularly enjoy the way the camera flies out and then turns around to show you your smoldering corpse from a distance. It sort of highlights the futility of what you're trying to do. Win races? Yeah, good luck. If you want to play something easy, why not try F-Zero GX? That was sarcasm, by the way. F-Zero's relative simplicity combined with its super smooth gameplay makes it a far more playable game than a lot of the mid to late 90s PlayStation racers. And unlike Wipeout and a lot of other futuristic driving games, you're not relying on your offensive power, you're relying on your driving skill and memorization. You don't have guided missiles or flamethrowers, sadly, but each time you pass the starting line you pick up some boost, and keep an eye out for the repair strips, which come in handy when you're about to explode and die. It's not a huge game by modern standards, but there's a couple different environments, each with a few tracks, and F-Zero sold a lot. In fact, this is one of the Player's Choice million-seller re-releases, so there's at least 1,000,001 copies out there. Also, you can just download it from the Virtual Console. I've got a Classic Game Room Year 2560 and Mode 7 shout-out to send to Alex from Wildwood, Missouri. Thank you for sending F-Zero all the way into space for Classic Game Room. Recommended, you know it, this is pretty much a must-play for all Super Nintendo owners, and even most of the Genesis ones as well. F-Zero.